If you're going to do something illegal, just do it so that we can all move on.
We have a lawful right to identify you.
You can try and convince yourself, but your qualified immunity will be gone anyways.
Ever heard of the First Amendment? I can say whatever I want and you can't do shit about it.
Do what you gotta do.
Identify yourself.
I'm not identifying.
I need double cup. Please. 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 Please.
Step back.
And you're using.
Stop that music! I'm in a public place! I can film whatever I can see! Photography is not a crime! Photography is not a crime! Photography is not a crime!
I'd like to welcome you to the John Legato Show. I'm John Legato.
Can I go now?
Right, but here's the issue. You can give us your word that you're not going to go back there.
Well, it doesn't matter.
If an officer contacts you there later,
Right.
you need to document the
Well, no, at that point you get my ID.
there and you were not welcome there.
At that point you get my ID. See all these cameras? He's got one. Is yours on? Is yours on? Is yours on? Is yours on? Mine's on. It's actually live right now. There's 290 people who know that he's telling me and that you're telling me. They all know who I am. Hell, you can go look it up with the FBI, okay? They all know who I am. If I go back on the property, there's going to be no question about who's on the property.
Did anyone else smell that whiff of arrogance? I mean, it's the chair's argument if everybody knows my name. The outright narcissism of
There's 290 people who know that he's telling me and that you're telling me. They all know who I am. Hell, you can go look it up with the FBI, okay? They all know who I am. If I go back on the property, there's going to be no question about who's on the property. You don't have a lawful right to get my ID. Again, how long have we been here on an unlawful detainment? If you're going to do something illegal, just do it so that we can all move on.
We have a lawful right to identify you.
You can try and convince yourself, but your qualified immunity will be gone anyways. You can convince yourself of whatever you want. I will put your name personally on a lawsuit if you violate me. I'm just asking you not to. I don't go around trying to sue cops like a lot of people say. I go around showing and exposing that they violate the law and that there's almost no repercussion for it, okay? I'm not here to sue you guys. Let's walk away and end this. How about that? What do you...
We need to ID you because
well, I already told you. I already told you I will not voluntarily give up my rights. If you're going to violate me, you have to do it yourself.
reasonable suspicion involves many things. For example, a call to 911 reporting suspicious behavior is not enough to demand an ID, but an officer's observation adds to that reasonable suspicion. It can add to it. So if an officer asks politely, "Why are you here?" it's unusual for an individual to stand in this neighborhood and for an hour or so with a camera. Can you explain it? Do you live here? Are you working here? Asked in a polite tone. Now, when the person gets aggressive and evasive, that is the third behavior which causes reasonable suspicion. All this frauditor had to say is, "I am a First Amendment auditor, I don't live here, and I'm not a threat." That explanation is sufficient for police to clear the call and leave. But frauditors purposely act like thugs and they're up to no good.
Well, I already told you. I will not voluntarily give up my rights. If you're going to violate me, you have to do it yourself.
All right, go ahead and turn around and face the fence for me. I'm just going to get your ID out of your pocket, okay?
All right, so he's going inside of my pocket. And this is officer. I don't have any weapons either. I'm not going to hurt you. I already told you earlier.
I don't think you're violent at all, man.
So he's going.
Find a peaceful.
Oh, dude, there is something in there that'll poke you. By the way, those keys.
Where's your ID at?
I can't tell you. Sorry, man. You're going to search me. You got to do it on your own.
So is your name James?
If you're going to search me, you got to do it on your own.
James Freeman.
State of birth?
Springer. Yeah, James Springer.
If you're going to violate me, you got to do it on your own. So I got all these guys around me, and they are taking my ID. He reached inside of my pocket. He pulled my wallet out. He searched my wallet. He pulled out an identification card. Is that my Costco card, man?
As long
You spend as much as you want on there. I get points if you spend it, okay? It's fine. Yes, I recommend you get the Red Bull there.
Our next frauditor, the old rogue nation, clearly trespasses.
Sir, you need to leave.
Excuse me?
You need to leave the property because the post office has asked you to leave.
For what reason?
Well, it's trespassing, so if the post office employees have asked you to leave, you need to leave because you can be arrested for trespass after warning since you've been asked to leave the property.
Okay, and anybody could ask you to leave public property?
The people that work here, yeah, they can, because they pertain to this building.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Like you guys can trespass somebody from a park, but can you just roll up on somebody in a park and ask them to leave?
Well, that's all depending.
There has to be a crime.
Yeah, if the park is closed, then yes.
Right.
But, or if they're breaking some type of other city ordinance related to the park, then yes, we could.
Is this a public lobby?
This is, well, it's the post office property right here.
Right, which is federal government, which is public, right?
But this is no different than like a Publix or a Walmart. Everyone can walk into a Publix just like everyone can walk into here. So you walking into here, this is controlled by, you know, these employees, management here. So whatever you're doing, I don't know what you're doing that they don't like.
Have you ever looked at a postal worker delivering mail and thought to yourself, is that a federal government job? Would you like to work for the post office or become a postal worker? Let's talk about it. First, understand that the post office is a business enterprise that receives no direct taxpayer funds. They receive revenue from selling postage stamps and other type of services. The rural letter carrier appears to be equal to the federal wage system, or the WG grade, and they are paid on an hourly basis. Even though it is similar to the federal wage system, they do not follow the WG pay scale. In fact, there's a completely different pay scale for postal workers. Another big difference is the way that you search for USPS jobs. You will not find them on usajobs.gov. Instead, you will have to navigate to usps.gov and filter by location and area.
No, not going to.
Yeah, I'll get that in a second. Okay. I'll get that.
You're not going to identify yourself, sir?
Nope.
Okay, then we have a problem. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the problem?
Because the premises want you trespass. That's why we were here. I don't know what they told you because, like I said, we just got here.
Yeah.
So the premises want you trespass, so you need to identify yourself so we can do it.
What's the statute that makes me identify for a trespassing warning?
You're on private property right now.
No, I'm not, sir. This is federal property. It's public property. Get a supervisor, please.
Frauditors have zero knowledge of trespassing laws. Now, Rogue Nation has been asked to leave by the supervisor of this post office. The supervisor is considered the custodian of this property. And once you refuse his order to leave, you have committed the crime of trespassing.
You cannot remain without lawful authority after being notified to depart. So you've been notified by the owner, the occupant, or the agent of the owner or occupant, then you better leave. And your failure to leave is trespassing.
I think I messed up. I didn't realize what could happen if you refused to leave a public building. Let's dive in. So you're in a public building minding your own business. But then someone asks you to leave. What now? First off, yes, they can ask you to leave. Public buildings have rules just like any other place. If you don't follow them, they can give you the boot. Now, if you refuse to skedaddle, things can get sticky. Security might step in and you could get escorted out. Still refusing? Well, then the police might get involved. You could even get charged with trespassing. And trust me, you don't want that. So next time someone tells you to leave a public building, it's best to mosey on out. No fuss, no muss. Stay safe, y'all. Catch y'all next time.
Rogue Nation and all other frauditors sound very convincing quoting laws. But to quote my drill instructor at Paris Island, shut your pile. The John Legato Show is produced right outside the gates of Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune in beautiful North Carolina. Please like, share, and encourage your friends to subscribe. Semper Fidelis.